Hey guys, I'm Shuj. Welcome back to the Founders Disco. We're here today with Sophie Snell, the founder of Sophie's Wellbeing Practice. Hello, Sophie. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you. Thank you for the introduction.
Thanks for being here. Tell us a bit about you and your company and what you guys do.
My company's still relatively new. I actually left the corporate world a few months ago to start on this journey to create Sophie's Wellbeing Practice. So it's very much focused on supporting individuals essentially to thrive, but also as well working with organisations, predominantly around their whole people experience, supporting the organisation around, the profitability aspects. Obviously, everything quite nicely links into that. But really, it's about offering an environment where people truly love coming to work. They really enjoy what they do because work's such a big part of us. I'm a counsellor, so it sounds like I'm going to show off now, but I'm a qualified counsellor. I'm a hypnotherapist. I'm an NLP practitioner. I'm an EMDR practitioner. I'm also a Reiki master as well. But the reason why I have got and done so much training is because I wanted to be able to offer a holistic, being offering to both individuals and organisations. So have a big toolkit essentially.
Amazing. Yeah, that's awesome. And we can see the it's on the wall behind Sophie.
That's not
Um,
all of them. I also do have my
it's just the
NEBOSH
cool
in
ones.
national general in occupational health and safety. So
Amazing.
yeah.
Amazing.
And also as well,
Um,
I'm a coach as well. So
yeah.
yeah, there's just so much.
What doesn't Sophie do? Um, so we go through that initial phase, right? The core pain of, dude, I can do so much. I can help so many people. I can, you know, do all these things,
Yep.
but no one wants to pay me to do it,
Yep.
right? And then you start learning about the all those fancy words of like outreach, sales, objection handling, payment system, blah, 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 whatever, right? It all boils down to like talk to a bunch of people and convince them to pay you to
Yeah.
do the thing that you say you're going to do, and then you do it. And then the trick is to get them to keep doing that thing, right? Depending on whatever it is that you provide. If it's a one off, that's fine. You just need more people. If it's, you know, but once you hit that sticky point where you're like, damn, my calendar is really full now, right? So it's a juggle between finding new people and helping the people that are in your ecosystem. And that's when, like, and you're still not quite earning enough to be free. So what do? Right?
Well, you
And
do
then
what
new
you
words come.
do. Well, you do what you do, and then you create a system that creates apps for you, so you work
Correct.
smarter.
Absolutely. And you can do things like that. Certain business models need team, need
Mm,
labor, need hours
mm.
to and like now we're talking about scaling. That's the word, right? That's the word everyone uses. And you sort of, I'd say typically when you're looking at sort of 10 to 15 grand a month of like profit, right? Is where a lot of people just take their foot off the gas. But getting to that point is so difficult, and it can sometimes take months depending on what you're doing. Sometimes it can take years depending on what you're doing. And just stick to it. You know what I mean? Stick to it and find inspiration to keep doing it in all the little things, whether it's your morning coffee where you're sitting there going, all right, my hypno helped, you know, five people over the last 6 months quit smoking. I personally, I don't know if that's something that you use
It is something
hypnotherapy
I
for,
do.
but yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Not only have you helped those five people with their health, you've helped them with their wealth
Mm,
as a consequence. You've helped their partners literally be able to stand next to them and not suffer. Their kids have their parents for a longer time on this. There's all these things, and
I help the
you
NHS
know,
service.
yeah, like, and healthcare system, you know,
Yeah.
like, and yeah, sure, okay, it's 5 over 6 months, but all right, what did I do for those 5 people to enter my ecosystem,
Mm.
right? How do I repeat those actions? A lot, right? If it takes 10 conversations to get 6 people on a call to sign one of them up, what do I need to do to get 10 signups? Have 100 conversations, right? You know?
Well, I mean, like yesterday, it was Blue Monday, classed as the most depressing day of the year. So I ran some meditation sessions, all focused around the resetting of the nervous system, because we don't do that a lot. So it was nice because again, it's all about who I am as a practitioner, who I am, what the message that I'm trying to get out, supporting people as well. They were free,
Hmm.
but off the back of that, I have had some inquiries to help support people with what they're struggling with. So
Perfect.
I hear what you're saying. So
Perfect. Yeah.
just trying to think about how I can get the message out there. But honestly, trying to get the message out there to get people to come to a free meditation seem
Tough.
like really hard work.
Yeah.
Yeah, really hard work.
Is that more centered around your, because we were in our chat, you mentioned you were having some challenges distinguishing your sort of individual one-to-one help versus the more group organization stuff. Was that more of the individual component?
Yes. So Sophie's wellbeing practice, I came out of, if you like, the corporate world a few months ago, where I supported organisations with their workplaces and their, if you like, their overall people experience. So very much focus on the wellbeing side of things, which I really value and see so much potential in helping to support organisations. It's almost like therapy, but on a larger scale, delivering a quicker impact, if you like. Um, but for me as well, because I am a counsellor, a hypnotherapist, an NLP practitioner, EMDR, sounds like I'm showing off again. But because I'm very much focused on the individual therapy as well, it's okay, so where do I focus first? Because I can't focus across all of it. So my plan at the moment is to get the message out and support individuals. So the meditations that I ran yesterday were to help support individuals really struggling through the month of January and really, helping with that belonging in that connection. Because also as well, people work at organizations. So if I can help support an individual, and a lot of the people that I do see, and they always cite something about work and how they might have suffered with a bereavement and work aren't being supportive, or they've got a line manager that's causing them a lot of stress. They do bring this into the therapy room. So
Mm-hmm.
I like the fact that as a wellbeing practitioner, I'm able to look at through the lens of the workplace as well as through the lens of the individual. But
Mm.
it's just as a small business, owner at the moment, making sure that I don't burn out, because that would be ironic, wouldn't it, if I
Yeah.
burnt out doing the job that I actually do and
Sure.
supporting people. So, and
Yeah.
I can get really excited because I'm so passionate about this. I can get
Hmm.
really excited sometimes,
Yeah.
but to my detriment. So I always have to try and just pull myself back. Okay, focus, so for one thing at a time. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
what I'm trying to do.
So if we break it down now, we're going completely off book from what we prepped for, but I feel like this, like it's a small exercise, but it might be helpful for you in terms of like, so you've left your job,
Yep.
and now this is what you do, right? Amazing, awesome, love it. More people need to do that. In terms of, I'm guessing you had a bit of a buffer behind you to keep the lights on, so to speak, for a bit while you know. navigate the start of your business.
Mm-hmm.
If we were to run through, and you don't have to say numbers. In fact, don't worry about numbers.
Mm-hmm.
But if we were to say, okay, from an individual perspective, right, one to one,
Mm-hmm.
helping people, how full does your calendar need to be between, say, 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. to actually have the life that you want financially?
If my business model just focused on individual therapy, I would literally need to be working 24 hours a day to have to finance and support the life that I
Mm,
would like. And the thing is, I don't want to be rich. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I really want to be rich. That isn't actually my driving factor. I would like to have enough money so I can pay my bills and support my family, and we can, yeah, go on a couple of holidays a year. That would
hmm.
be really nice. This for me is more about who I am as a person. But we all work, don't we? Because we've got
Yeah,
to pay
yeah,
the bills.
yeah,
But that's why as well, the rates that I'm charging for individual, I want it to be accessible for as many people as possible. But also as well,
mm,
it needs to be enough so then people are seeing the value as well in, because therapy is really hard as well and it requires a commitment. So if people see that it's too cheap, then they're not going to commit to it. But equally as well, I don't want to price people out because the world that we're living in, everybody's really struggling,
yeah.
really struggling. So even that balance in itself
Mm.
is
It's
is
tricky.
quite, yeah, it's quite
It's
it's
very
quite
tricky.
yeah. And also I
Oh,
do know people, if they were to look at my rates, they'd be like, oh, she's no good because she's that cheap. I am really good. It's
mm.
just, my model is very much I'd like it to be accessible. But if people want to pay me more, they're very welcome to. But I
So,
wouldn't have that conversation because some people can be put off because my
yeah,
rates are lower than a lot of people charge in my local area.
I get you. So, and this is going to be particularly handy because you're so early on, right?
Mm,
To avoid that burnout,
hmm.
right? The first thing you need, money's got to be made because bills got to be paid,
Yep.
right? A very smart person told
Yep.
me that.
Yeah.
So breaking down like your ideal like workday, right?
Yeah.
Let's call it 6 hours because a quarter of the day seems a reasonable time, right? So in that 6 hours, your activities should contribute to, like if you spread it across the week, right?
Hmm.
30 hours a week should make up your expenses
Hmm.
and your little play fund, right? We're not trying to buy a holiday a week, but enough to chip away at that goal,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So breaking down what that 6 hours needs to make per hour and pricing accordingly at 80% capacity because you
Hmm.
still need a reasonable amount of back end time for
Yeah.
admin, for,
Yeah.
acquisition, for all of those other things, right? And that's a very challenging thing to actually accomplish.
Hmm.
Okay. It's
Yeah.
not a simple thing, right? Like you might end up breaking it down. You're like, damn, I need like $500 an hour. That's crazy to ask of somebody. But is it actually that crazy to ask that of somebody given the outcome that they are trying to achieve, right? So if you're like, okay, I don't want to ask someone for $500 an hour, fine, spread it out across 10 weeks, right? All of a sudden you're asking them for 6,000, right, over 10 weeks, but you get dot, 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 dot. That's your like ultimate 10-week package or whatever, right? And then you can do a monthly check-in
Yep.
following, right? Because
Yep.
you don't want to rinse and send either, right? You want to build genuine relationships that last a long time.
Yep.
So the model that we personally use and I'll take you under the hood, right? We have 3 tiers, more or less, right? We have minimum, which is breaking down somebody's business and saying, what is the bare minimum you need, right? And that typically, we're talking like $1,500 to $2,000, maybe $3,000 at the top end, right? Depending on the business. That's in the affordability range for a fish and chip shop who are getting hammered by point of sale fees or whatever, right? Pizza stores, small personal training studios, personal trainers, that kind of thing, right? Then we have sort of our here's your like wish list package, which is, you know, leans towards the 4 to 10K mark, which in the app development industry is actually like ridiculous. We're talking like 5% of what most developers would charge. But again, the ethos is we want these things to be accessible, right?
Yeah.
And then we've got, you know, you're already making millions a year. Let's just ball out and give you everything you want and need, fully custom, you know, and those vary, right? But even then, it's a drop. So now let's say there's somebody who doesn't fit into any of those categories, right? We still have an option for them, right? Which is do it yourself. Here are the tools. Here's the system. You don't need to know how to code. You don't need to know. You just need sweat and watch some tutorials,
Yep.
and you can build yourself an app, right? So applying a framework like that will free you up to have your stuff accessible for those who don't have the finance. They can put in the work. For those who do, they will pay. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. It will be a new concept, I think, for a lot of people. It's a new,
Yeah.
that's a new, that, I mean, that's a new concept even for me to comprehend.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have a client who's she's a nutritionist by trade, but she also, very similar to you, has like a list of things, right?
We call it holistic well-being
Yeah.
approach.
And she's amazing. The stuff she does is fantastic. But we pretty much applied a similar framework for her, right? Where she has a bunch of stuff accessible for free, right? The trade is information,
Yeah.
right? Who are you? Where are you from? What's your email? And the occasional check-in of like, hey, how are you going, right? And then there's a minimum sort of package where they get like tiered levels of access to exercise libraries, to nutrition plans, to da 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 da, right? Then there's the entry level, like the 6 week program, where now you have group access to her. And then there's like you have to go through the stages, right? Obviously, if someone's willing to pay her up front for the 6 weeks, she's like, let's go. You're obviously ready, whatever. That's fine. But you have to do the 6 week to qualify for the 12-week program. Once you've completed those two things, then there's a follow-up cadence, right? And then she hosts like wellness retreats and things like that, which are in-person events. Everything else is online. So she's only expending her energy on people who are committed side and financially to whatever goals they have. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, absolutely, because she's showing people as well what she is about, and also she's getting people to commit. And I'm sure there's a lot of dropouts during that first 6 week period. But the ones that almost like make it through, that they're the people that really do want to make the change. They're ready to go that next step.
Absolutely. Because we stick to the one line of products and the one tier of like like the one progression, right? Because we've seen that with some other wellness providers, for a lack of better word, right? Who offer a huge menu, but people are only buying certain clusters. They're like, oh, but I can help people with smoking, but no one's asking you to. So why you know what I mean? Like, and I'm not saying that's relevant to you, but you know, it's hard to be really good at everything all the time.
I try.
But yeah, I don't know if any of that was particularly like helpful in terms of what you had shared with me in our earlier conversation. But yeah, there are ways to maximize that time, you know.
How would you get the app out though to people, that message out to people?
Oh, that's pure marketing. So that's kind of like, look, I'm a fairly decent marketer,
Hmm.
right? A couple of my grown-up jobs were all in, or mostly in marketing. And we do our own marketing,
Hmm.
obviously,
Hmm.
to get our stuff out there and for our acquisition. But with our app clients, we actually don't do their marketing
Yeah.
or necessarily get involved at that level. Because we're the app guys, we're not the
Yep.
marketing guys anymore,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
But we know how to make an app successful in terms of once they're in the door, they are more or less 95% likely to stay, right?
Mm-hmm.
But getting them in is the same as any other process, program, etc. Is not enough people know that we exist. Not enough people know where to find us. Not enough people know what we can do for them, and not enough people come back. Those are the four like basic
Yep.
marketing problems that we try and solve, right? In general. And there's heaps of ways to go for it. And it depends whether you have time or resource. Resource could be financial, it could be, it depends on the context, connections, etc. But if you have time, amazing. Organics are great. Literally post 5 to 6 pieces of content a day on
Hmm.
whatever platform you choose, and try and speak to 10 to 20 people a day in DMs.
Hmm.
Quality conversation, book an intro call or whatever your touch point looks like. If you want to speed that up, punch ads. Like, but then, now you're putting resource in to make your time more efficient, but to do that, you need quality content to put in an ad. So it still costs a bit of time, but, 10 bucks a day can reach a lot more people than an individual can.
Yeah.
And then follow the same process. Conversations, calls, sell. Like, except where the app kicks in specifically for this client is that once they're in the app,
Mm.
the conversations take care of themselves because the person comes into the ecosystem with a certain expectation and a certain outcome in mind. So it's just a matter of delivering that as efficiently as possible. So there's no actual, or there's very little need for her to usually end up DMing people.
Well, it's by the sounds of it as well, it's an opportunity for them people to come in and see what you're about. And if you've got such a wide range, because this is the biggest thing that I'm struggling with, because my messaging for hypnotherapy clients is different to people who are looking for counselling, and you know delivering workshops for organizations around stress, around, leadership workshop, emotional intelligence. There's lots of different things
Hmm.
and ways that I can engage with people. And that's great when you're having a one-to-one conversation, because it's nice to be able to navigate through that. But that takes time. I mean, if I was to have 20 of those good conversations a day, well, I would have no time to do anything else. So
Absolutely.
something that can help take a lot of that time away, but getting people engaged in the process and learning more about me, how I can support, and also links up with, oh yeah, yeah, that, yeah, oh, that is me. Yeah, I do need some support. Yeah, I do want to change that. Oh yeah, that I'm really interested in that. Having something that people can almost like take that manual conversation
Mm,
away and a more experiential process. So rather
yeah.
than just looking at, I don't know, one Instagram post or,
Well,
yeah,
so no one remembers the Instagram post. That's
no,
one thing that we have to keep like super in mind when we're doing anything, right? Whenever we make content, we do it understanding that the next thing that someone's going to flick through is a chick in a bikini or a dude doing push-ups or a dog or a cat being cute or whatever.
all the funny parrots.
So when you're living in that ecosystem from a messaging standpoint, right? Delivering your message really quickly and efficiently and getting to like actually stick through the whole message is really important, right? To your first 3 second hook, your etc. But it's the volume at which it occurs, right? And how often you're popping up on someone's feed, right? So like I mean, if we want to go into like a proper marketing masterclass, right? At sort of where you're at, I guess. 3 months in? Is that
Um, no, not quite 2 months.
okay, cool. So being avatar specific, does avatar or IC ideal client or any of
Yep,
have you seen that sort of
yep,
yeah, so you get the point of that, right? So one avatar, one message, one offer,
yep,
one, right? So if we're using an individual, right, as the example, right? Being super clear on who that individual is, what specifically you're helping them with, right? Now, the methodology can change, and that's the cool thing about you being able to do
yeah,
85 different things at a super high level, right? So, if the goal is to reduce someone's stress, right? And help them go to work without well, being miserable every day, right? The messaging is actually super clear. Are you sick of going to work? Do you actually like kind of like your job and the people, but you're miserable anyway? Let's have a chat. That's more or less, and you can use your 85 different toolkit to help them through that, you know? Because for that individual, it might be just some meditation and some reflection and some maybe like literally they might just be dehydrated.
yeah,
Sometimes that's an actual thing, right?
yeah,
Or for a different person, it might just be like they're getting triggered by this one thing and maybe hypno is the way, you know? Again, I don't actually know how your toolkit works, but I'm like complete spitball, maybe, right? So you've got that message clear, you've got the who clear, and all you need to do really is tailor an offer that is custom to that person. So you don't even need like a one offer framework where you're like, hey, $60 a week, I'll help you out, right? It can be like, hey, I know exactly what you need based on what we've discussed. This is what the path looks like. And like, just give me 6 weeks. We'll get through this, right? Here are 10 other people I've helped with the exact same problem. You want to hear from them? Come to next week's meditation call. They'll be there, you know? And you can run that weekly meditation as well as like, a 1 hour, like call it a grounding for yourself where people
yeah,
can just come. Anybody can just turn up. And that's like your sermon space or whatever. where you run your meditation, you notice all your new faces, reach out to them afterwards, like, hey, how'd you find the session? You know? So that's sort of all access pass, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Leading into that, then on the organizational level, which is a more higher ticket but can be just as custom, right?
Yep, absolutely.
You can make, whatever problem it is you're trying to solve or you're really good at solving, message around it, message to those people. Obviously, you can't invite a company to your meditation call. That wouldn't make sense.
Why not?
But you literally can, yes.
Yeah.
But, the people in the company will come,
Yeah.
but the
Yeah.
company itself, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? You're
Yeah.
speaking
Yeah.
to a different level of person. It might be that you need to get in with HR people or maybe like a I don't know, C something O, one of the O's
The
who
CEOs, the business, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So the
but
leadership
like
team, yeah.
do they actually spend their waking hours worrying that their people are happy? You know what I mean?
And
There's
yeah, and there are some leadership teams that do. And if you were to ask certain CEOs what keeps you awake at night, it is, normally around burnout, stress, the well-being, the overall well-being
hmm,
essentially of their employees. Because if they're not fit, well, healthy, and performing, that's going to have an effect on the bottom line. So ethically, there, because we're all human beings and we should be looking out for other human beings, but also from a business perspective, this is why a lot of successful organizations are really now focusing in on how to support their people.
it's interesting that like it's being made out to be like a current trend. My mom worked for a company when she was fresh out of college, and they actually it's a huge company now. Back then, it was like four people and
Wow.
and this crazy dude with a vision that everyone thought he was nuts. Now he owns an island off Hawaii and like as many
Wow.
yachts as a man can imagine, right? Mom doesn't work for him anymore. That and like she stopped 30 years ago. But they even back then she tells me about like their workplace and it was like again, small team. They
Mm,
could get pizza on demand.
mm,
They had beds to crash out on if times at home were tough or
mm,
whatever,
mm,
like or if they had to work late and they're like, "Oh man, it's 45 minutes to get home. I don't
mm,
want to just sleep there." You
mm,
know?
mm.
He would hook them up with lunches all the time. He's like, "All right, you guys have been working too hard. Lunch." You know? This is 45 years ago probably.
But this is workplace well-being. This
Yeah.
is workplace well-being, and
Yeah.
people,
And they still sing his praises
yeah,
as a boss
mm,
so much later. And it's all and like I take that to heart
yeah,
as founder myself based on my mom's experience because she's literally told me that since I was a kid she's talked
mm.
about that experience she had. But also it's so dang expensive to replace staff.
It's so expensive, and
Yeah.
also to keep people and keep investing in people as well, and working with people. I mean, if you think about that story that your mum's told you, how's that shaped you as a business owner?
Yeah. Made a huge impact on how I approach my team,
Mm,
and even if it's the little things like Christmas presents on their kids, you
yeah.
know, for their kids, or a little something to get a slightly nicer cake for a family member's birthday, or a card for their mom's birthday. Little things.
But just remembering
Um,
that stuff as well,
yeah.
just remembering that stuff. So it's so incredibly important. The line manager that runs in the morning, waves morning, how are you, to his team, but then never waits to hear the response. And everyone's just stood there bewildered, like, oh, okay, because they're on their own agenda. But
Yeah.
actually taking that time, the CEO that walks around knows every single person's name. Oh, how's little Freddie? Or how's your mum after that hip replacement?
Mm.
Those are the little nuggets. They don't cost anything to businesses,
But
but
the impact level is so much.
oh, it's
Yeah.
huge because people will stay because it doesn't just come back to the pay. Why do I work here? I work here because of the pay. Well, obviously, yeah, we all go to work because we get paid, but it's all, and that's why when I talk about overall people experience, it really is from the recruitment process to the onboarding to that great, hopefully that really big bit in the middle, all the way through to retirement.
Yeah.
It's so vitally important.
100%. Because it's, again, from a people perspective, they're putting, you know, a third of their best life into you as well,
Yeah,
right? Outside of the financials involved, because again, money's got to be made because bills got to
yeah,
be paid.
yeah, yeah.
But, and the value that they bring, that people bring in general, is always amazing. But, there's that thing that people say, like, hey, you're 85 years old or whatever, and you're sitting there. Are you going to be raving about how you worked so hard? Or are you going to be wishing you spent more time with the people that you cared about? Well, one or both. Like, one can be part of the other as well.
Mm.
There are people who literally did that, you know? Um,
Yeah, and this is why as well, I mean, I'm doing this because it really aligns with my values and who I am, and I'm really passionate about this.
mm,
When people join organizations, a lot of these organizations have values and missions that sit on their website, but actually,
at all.
no, no,
Never. Yeah.
never, and I've probably forgotten about it, since they've done the onboarding process because they're not keeping it alive. But also, as well, when they're recruiting people into the organization, how are they aligning their values with the organizational values? So you are getting the best people, and they'll be, people are truly bought in to the overall ethos of the organization, what they're
Oh,
trying to achieve, all of that great stuff.
mm,
Then people will stay longer because it will be more aligned with them as a whole human being.
for sure.
There's just so much that is just being missed.
So is your retention aspect your company well-being aspect, not necessarily the like, what's the word, like a tree, right? They all look great on the outside, but you can't always see it rotting on the inside, or if it has a disease or whatever. All trees look great, but so there's your angle for that message, right?
Mm.
Take that, establish the conversation, tailor an offer using the toolbox, price it accordingly, and fairly to yourself.
And that's the thing as well for corporate organizations. I feel I can play more to the value that I can
Mm,
offer because they are a corporate organization, and they'll have budgets, and essentially whatever I do to support them will help as well in terms of, their overall profitability of the organization.
mm,
A lot of the time organizations are just leaking money left, right, and center with absent rates, with disengagement, with
mm,
accidents, burnout, all of that stuff. So actually, by supporting an organisation, they're not going to make a couple of quid. We're talking hundreds of thousands of pounds. This is going to really help to
mm.
transform their organisation. So
Yeah.
yeah, the rates that I feel align with that, I feel more comfortable with,
Yeah. Mm,
and that's why I want to still continue being an organizational wellbeing consultant to
mm,
support these organizations, but it's like, okay, well, I'm just starting out, So I'll focus on the individual and kind of like have still have my hand in the organizational side of things. But yeah,
I think you
it's a
should flip
balancing
it. You
act.
sound a lot more confident pitching to and dealing with organizations than you sort of do with reaching the volume of individuals you need.
Well, the thing is, it's so competitive with the volume of individuals, but also when you speak to an individual, they're quite vulnerable. Well, I say they are very vulnerable, and finding the right therapist for them
Mm,
is more of a softly. You have to go a bit more softly, and it's very much the overall success of the therapy journey with that individual. A lot of that is down to the connection, the therapeutic relationship you create with that person. So it takes that time, but the reward is
mm,
massive. It's so amazing when somebody
yeah,
comes
yeah.
in, they're completely broken or they think they're completely broken, and then, you work with them and then they go off into the night just this completely different, wonderful person. It's just like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
I'm a avid therapy attendee, so I know
oh,
the
honestly,
feelings
yeah.
you're describing are yeah.
But you're feeling that as a client, but as a therapist, we have to sit there with our poker face, but
Yeah.
we are dancing inside, and it's so incredible to watch that transformation, and also a real
Mm,
privilege as well. I volunteer at a local hospice, and I honestly, people come in, they're bereaved or they're caring for someone who's got a life-limiting illness, or they're actually a patient, and just even the transformation from working with them over like 10 session period is just it's incredible. But
mm,
the pitch, if you like, is different because it's almost like they have to reach out for you, so the marketing plan and the messaging has to be very, very different and a bit more softly, the way that it
yeah.
speaks to them. And I'm quite
Well,
reliant on directories and getting my
mm.
message out that way.
Because like I think it's like you've got a platform specificness too, right? Because if you're operating on one platform
Mm,
in one content format, right? You're sort of more organizational, you're more high ticket, high value individual as well to a certain extent, would exist in a place like LinkedIn. But more of those people that you're talking about who you need to approach softly, Instagram, Snapchat, those places where people fall into holes, right?
mm,
You know the ones
yep,
we're talking about, right? Where
I
you just
do. And I have been one
sat
of those
there for
people.
2 hours,
Yeah,
like this is what I'm doing now, right?
yeah,
So do you do platform specific content at the moment?
no. Well, no, I tell a lie, I do. I tend to find a theme and then I will tailor it to whether I'm on LinkedIn or Facebook or even Instagram, because even the Instagram is a lot younger to the Facebook. So
Hmm.
Snapchat's a bit beyond me, to be honest. But
Yeah.
and I'm not on TikTok
Hmm.
or anything like that. But then so trying to tailor content to have a theme, but tailor it to the different platforms is what
Mm.
I've been testing um, recently. But again, I mean, I'm still really quite early days, and in
Yeah, yeah.
such a early stage, I'm doing all right at the moment. I'm
Good.
paying the mortgage, and that's the main
Excellent.
thing.
Amazing. In 2 months, that's fantastic.
Yeah,
That's incredible.
yeah, yeah.
I was broke for 2.5 years.
I know,
Right.
but no, and look at you now, and that's the thing. So
Sticking power.
yeah,
It's yeah, yeah,
it's
way
so
overstated. Yeah.
important. But
Yeah, yeah.
I have been really fortunate, and have back to old school where I had a load of leaflets printed. I had like 15,000 leaflets printed, got them out. It showed individual on one side, corporate on the other. I've literally flooded my local area, been to GP. Like, it's taken a lot of time. So I haven't just focused on the social media
Hmm.
advertising, I've gone a bit old school as well,
Yeah, yeah.
and paper.
Yeah. That's interesting though. Like, do you have a metric on how successful that campaign was compared to your activities on socials?
And at the moment they're about 50-50.
Okay.
To
That's cool.
be, yeah, and it, but if I think about the clients that I've got from social media, definitely a younger generation, to from my leaflets, an older generation.
Mm.
So, but it's, it is about 50-50. But then again, going out to the corporate organization, I think it's important to have, like, I've got a website, to have
Hmm.
the website, to be present on social media, and, places like LinkedIn, but then also do the old school route, back in the
Oh yeah.
days when, you're in sales and you're on foot and you're walking around to
Oh
organizations,
my.
you're like,
Yeah.
yeah, and ringing them up the old school way,
Yeah.
um, you know, for getting myself out there locally. But again, all of this, I mean, I've been working incredibly hard
Mm.
over the last couple of months to even get to the point that I've got to now. But I'm very fortunate because I do understand some of the messaging.
Yeah.
So, particularly in the corporate world, I do understand a lot of the
Yeah.
terminology, and how to translate the therapy language into the corporate language.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's great. Like, so do you use like a CRM or a database or something?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
yeah, I use a database.
Yeah. Perfect. So if you fill that up, because remember there's 10 to 20 conversations we talked about, right?
Mm,
10 of them could be phone calls to
mm.
HR people, directly. Like, have a look at whatever organization and be like, all right, I can see that they have 200 people. Here are all their execs. There's the HR lady. I know her name. Give her or him a call. You can usually get to these people directly in like, given the company you're typically used to working with. And there's half your work done for the day in
Oh,
like under an hour.
and I'm also looking at funding as well, too, because
Mm.
I want to go into schools and help support, those really stressed out teachers,
Yeah,
and offer a space for them, as well. Really help them take a step back, reflect, really support around sort of stress, burnout, that stuff, give them
that's pretty cool.
strategies. Yeah. So I'm also applying for some funding at the moment as
Mm.
well. So the thing, there's lots of moving parts here, and
Yeah.
there's lots of different things going on. But I've given myself a year to, get this to where, to really start moving in the right direction. So to be
Mm.
where I am after 2 months,
This is awesome.
I know, in the place that I am, I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, this is
Oh, yeah.
incredible. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's I'm having to fund a lot of this myself, in terms of, if I did want to, get that steak from the supermarket, I do have to think quite carefully about what I'm spending my money on at the moment. I'm not saying I'm
Hmm.
I'm in it, but to be in a new, in a new business that I'm creating from
Mm.
scratch, and being where I am already, I am
Yeah, that's
priv
awesome.
privileged.
Like, and the fact that you set yourself a year and guessing behind that timeline is also a fairly clear picture of what that life you're chasing is going to look like, right?
Absolutely.
And every day your activities are actually contributing to that, but not just that they're contributing to the year, they're contributing to tomorrow and the day after. And you're actually discovering that when you put your mind to something and you do the actions that you need to actually do instead of procrastinating, a year is a long time. It's a long time, and you can do a lot more in a shorter amount of time than you think if you don't piss around.
Yeah. But it's so easy as well, isn't it? Let's be honest, because you haven't got somebody behind you saying, "Oh, have you done this? Have you got that information for me
Mm,
yet?" You know, you have to be so on it. I better to have smaller sort of tasks, if you like. So rather than thinking about the whole big picture, it's more, what do I want to achieve this week? Where's my
mhm.
focus going to be each day? And I plan my week out between my clients that I've got, you know, even my social media activity, even me going to the gym. I even plan that into my
Awesome.
day.
You should,
Yeah,
because it's
yeah.
a priority, right?
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
I need to be fit and well. You know, I plan in when I'm meditating, I plan in when I'm spending time with the kids. It does feel like at the moment my life is very structured, which I think as, you know, I think that's so important if you do have your own business, because that's one of the things that being, you know, going to work offers you. It's that routine. So being able to be more structured, you know,
Mm,
right, okay, I'm getting up today, I'm going to drop Lucas off, my son, at school. When I get back, I've got this. When I finish, I'm going to the gym. Then afterwards, I'm going down to Wales because
yeah.
I've got a client that I've got down there. So it's like, but everything is planned out in my calendar to the latter. But I'm
Mm,
also okay with that changing.
yeah.
You know, I mean, we had to change this last
Yeah.
week,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
you gotta be able to pivot a little bit, right? Like,
yeah,
routine is great, but it's not rigid.
yeah.
No, that's really cool because like you're doing a lot of things now, and I'm like this is I'm guessing due to your background, professionally and as a person as well. Because it took me, oh heck, I was about 25, 26 before any of what you said would have even remotely crossed my mind as a thing that I should do. Like I would wake up, work a little bit, get bored, train, work some more. All right, I'm hungry now. Like just whatever. Like someone would call me, be like, "Hey, should we go for dinner tonight?" I'll say yes without even, like a calendar wasn't even a thing in my life. Like, and then by the end of the day, I've forgotten about dinner. This dude's calling me while I'm at dinner with someone else. I'm like, "Oh, dude, just join us." Like, it was chaos. And at some point that shifted, and started getting, but like just making a lot more sense in general. We just moved with two kids, two dogs, and a cat.
That sounds
And
hectic.
it was intense, like
Yeah.
29th of December. Yeah,
Oh,
straight after Christmas.
wow.
And what was it? Last week. It was around the 14th, 15th. I reckon it was about 2 weeks on the dot. We'd already traveled twice back and forth. It was a like 7 hour drive each way.
Oh, wow.
And then flown out for a wedding on the other side of the country because I moved so suddenly. Our social calendar is still over there, but because of little things like, all right, today I'm doing this amount of whatever, right? Whether it's a room or a random wish list item that my wife has cooked up for whatever reason is a priority to her, etc., etc. Oh, I need this done. Okay, fine. And then balancing the work time and then balancing actually raising children.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Unfortunately, yeah, they come out of the womb and can just instantly look after themselves. No,
Right,
absolutely.
right. And that element where you actually have to spend quality time with them. Otherwise,
Yes.
you see literally like a rabid 4-year-old running around like it's not fun. Uh,
Oh, I know.
so
My 5, so yeah, I
yeah,
completely get
yeah,
what you
yeah.
mean.
Like and yeah, it's the way they can get sometimes, right? So you have to put in that time. And but literally last week I was like, there's one box left, which is probably never gonna get unpacked. Because you always have that one box, that you drag from house to house. Manage my workload, got it all done. Like, yes, I haven't worked out in like 2 weeks. Fine, something had to give,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
But now, for the rest of the year, I have peace of mind that there's no more stupid house jobs, no more like annoying take that shelf off because it doesn't, the color is not right, or like it's all done. It's all done. Yeah.
So what are you going to do with the rest of the year then if you've got all that space available?
Oh, Lord, I have an intense set of goals this year.
Yeah.
So this year we're opening up our software. So I described we've got that the builder thing.
Hmm.
So over the last 6 to 8 months, we've been expanding that into not just an app builder, but an end-to-end agency tool. So for any software development agency to be able to manage their CRM, do their marketing, manage their projects, liaise their team, take payments, proposals, yada yada, like every single thing that we do as an activity as a software development agency, opening up our software, like our processes and our tools to other software developers. So similar to like we've been working one to one, you know, with businesses
Mm.
this whole time. That's been our
Yeah.
business model.
Yeah.
But we're now shifting to more similar to like that organizational element where the problems are very different
Hmm.
and that is very different. And we've been doing it successfully for so long. We know our tools are good,
Mm.
right? And we know that our tools can help people save time, save money, save
Mm.
what all the things that they need in life. That's much the and to like spend time with my family. So we moved to the same city as where my family lives, just to have a bit more access. Parents are getting a bit older, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
that's the plan.
we have this saying, don't we, of the work-life balance, but actually it should be more the life-work balance, or even just life and work be
Yeah, yeah,
part of
yeah.
it. So, I mean, it's
Yeah.
great that you've, evaluated what's most important in your life.
100%. Like I've spent my whole life around like what I actually want, like
Mm.
family and my work. Like those are
Yeah,
two very important things to me,
yeah.
right? So I have a dedicated full day with each of my sons. That's Monday, Tuesday. And like, yeah, I work a little bit, right? So like Monday while the young one's napping, 2 hours just crush, right? And hits the week strong for me. And then Monday nights, I'll have conversations like this once the kids are in bed.
Hmm.
Tuesday, like it's like I spent pretty much the entire day with 4-year-old. Dad swung by. We hung out a little bit, whatever. My wife has been working. She works the first 3 days of the week. And just had a day. We set up some sprinklers and you know, it just dicked around all day. It was awesome. They go to bed and I'm on the tools.
And it's so nice, isn't it? I like that flexibility for me with my work being, rather than a Monday to Friday 9 till 5, it's so boring. I have
Yeah.
got access to the full 7 days. And like you, I do make sure that I've got that really important family time where I'm not working
Mm,
and I am focused on being with the family and doing things with them. And then because I've got my own office, and if the door's shut, they know that mummy is working. So
yeah.
it's nice again to have that balance and that
Yeah.
freedom to be able to really do that. So,
Oh,
but be really careful as well because you've had a really full-on day, and just because it's not work, let's call it, paid work, being a parent is still a
it's
job.
intense.
And it is
It's intense.
intense,
Yeah, yeah. And
so
yeah. That's the thing though, to a degree, like something like this is me time.
yeah.
On a Tuesday specifically, I love booking a recording or a like just a chat, not like a sales call or a,
Yeah.
anything. And like, I have no intention of like convincing people at this time of night. Like, not interested. But because hanging out with a 4-year-old is draining. Like, he doesn't
Yeah.
take naps. He's just go, go, go,
Yeah.
go, eat, go, go, go.
Yeah. Yeah.
And half the day is spent like trying to convince him not to watch Paw Patrol. So, like, you know what I mean? You're like, I want to watch Paw
Yeah.
Patrol. How about we do this other thing instead, bro?
Oh, it's all
Like,
negotiation, isn't it?
yeah, how about we do some letters and then we'll do this and then we'll do this. And yeah, like, he hasn't watched much TV all day. Like, I think we did like 25 minutes of, we do dance tutorials. And they're really fun. There's this whole thing, but yeah, this is me and him in front of the TV doing these ones. Like, it's fun. But there's no way that I'm doing anything more than like social
Mm,
slash casual
mm,
slash, supporting my team. Like, I'm
mm.
not out here trying to run an ad campaign or anything at this time of night on a Tuesday. I'm drained. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
and that's the thing as well. When organisations, manage if you're working in an organisation, planning and managing your work, thinking about, okay, am I most productive in the morning? And even organisations don't think about how to get the most out of people.
Mm-mm.
So it's great
No.
to hear that you're aware of, actually, this is my maximum capacity that I can deal with at this time of night.
Mm.
Actually, in the morning when I wake up, I'm on that ad campaign. I'm able to be creative.
Yeah.
That's time. But some people, it might be their best times like 7 o'clock at night. They've
Mm.
had the whole day. I do admire people that can work till like midnight, because by 9 o'clock, my batteries are well and firmly
Yeah.
ran out and I am dead.
Yeah.
Like, you
100%.
I cannot function at that time of night.
Mm. Yeah. I like probably 9:30 is like my ceiling for like full brain power. Like, I
Mm,
can't do it. I'm just like, man,
yeah.
if 22, yeah, I'll be on till 2 in the morning. I don't care. But like, that's 10 years ago.
God.
I'm tired.
Do you know, like in the 20s, even before that, you'd go out, you'd get in early hours of the morning, 2 hours sleep, back up, and you'd do that
Mm.
continually.
Yep.
Wow, that's
Yep. I
so.
was filth in my like probably 16 to 25, 26.
Mm,
I would sleep 2 hours and literally the rest of the time I was either working or commuting or studying.
yeah.
Those were like that was my entire life. My social life was at work. My friends used to come to my workplaces to hang out with me because I was like, oh, I'm tonight, or I'm working here, or I'm working there. And they're like, all right, cool. You're working at the nightclub. All right, we're coming. Like,
Yeah.
done. It was intense. Like, probably like 12 months. I didn't even drive. I was taking trains and had using a skateboard because I was also drinking so much
Mm.
that I couldn't drive half the time. Like, I don't know how. Well, I do know how I went
I
through
don't
it.
know how we
Yeah.
survived,
Right?
how, oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. But yeah, and you come
Mm.
out the other end of it.
Yeah. Now, if I have two Coke Zeros in a day, I'm like, oh.
I know, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like, no, 3 o'clock's my cut-off for coffee. Can't be drinking coffee, otherwise I won't
Yeah.
be sleeping tonight. I know.
1000%. I
I know.
discovered that
Whereas the
years ago.
vodka Bulls, yeah, it doesn't matter what time. Midnight, you'd have a vodka Red Bull,
Yeah.
and keep
Straight
going.
to sleep.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. This has been awesome. Let's do a little lightning round
Okay.
because I think insights are going to be very interesting given your corporate history and 2 and a bit months into a business. What was the best piece of advice you received when building this business?
You don't have to know everything. You just have to be willing to learn.
Amazing. Any advice you'd give to someone who's starting out?
I think the best advice that I would give to anyone, because can just run away with this, and fill your entire day with pointless, meaningless stuff. Try and make sure there's time for you. Try and make sure it's not just all about work. Because if you do disconnect from yourself, you're going to quickly find you are going to end up in burnout, or you're going to be disengaged, or you're going to see this as a chore rather than, something that you're trying to build and keep that momentum and that excitement going.
Amazing. And where can people find out more about you and the work that you do?
So I'm on LinkedIn, but also I've got a website. So it's Sophie's Wellbeing Practice.com, or you can email me at Sophie's Wellbeing Practice at outlook.com.
Amazing. Cool. And I'll have Sophie's contact details and links to the website and LinkedIn in descriptions of everywhere this is posted. Thank you so much. Thanks so much for your time. It's been an
Thank
amazing
you.
conversation.